Good morning and welcome to Bold Business. I'm your host, David Grosso.
Thank you.
Next, we welcome Christian Toth, the Vice President and Account Supervisor at Verso Advertising, an industry leader in book advertising.
They're the leading agency for many big names in book publishing, including Random House, Penguin, and HarperCollins. Christian is joined by Sarah Hill, co-founder of Bookster and a friend of Bold TV. Hello, friends.
Hello.
Good
Hi.
morning.
Good morning.
Are you afraid of your Snapchat filters yet?
Yeah, I'm pretty paranoid now.
New thing to fear. That's right.
Yeah, just what we need.
The modern world is so complicated.
Now we all have to meditate.
Exactly.
Wow, you're learning, Christian. So tell us about what you do. You're behind the scenes of a book, right? You
Yeah.
hide behind the book, right?
Well, you know, it's like those sunglasses ads. You're never hiding. Yeah, we help out with deciding which media are most appropriate for the title, for the author, what creative is most expressive of that book's unique personality, and how best to get it out there in front of the people who would be most interested, as well as expanding the audience.
Right.
Yeah, so we work very closely with Christian, and he's been amazing to Bookster. But Christian, what is it? What can you give an example of maybe one campaign that you've done that surprised you, or maybe so that our viewers, because this is shared on Bookster, maybe so our viewers can get an understanding of, like, from start to finish what your process looks like?
Well, I enjoyed recently working on Neil deGrasse Tyson's book, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry.
Very cool.
You know, he has a personality to start out with, which is already drawing a lot of people. So what you're looking for at that point is exposure. We did a lot of things that we normally do in terms of, you know, there's social media, there's trade, there's print. Bookster is a great example of the kind of thing that gets you out there in front of people who love the title or who love the author and would love the title. One of my favorite things that we did was actually phone kiosks, which is a very inexpensive thing to do, in the area of the Natural History Museum where he works.
Oh.
And I felt like that was a very personality-specific, title-specific way of getting it out there. And, you know, there's no direct cause and effect, obviously, because Norton has an incredible publicity department, but it's hard to argue with a #1 bestseller. And this morning, as I was biking here, I passed by a couple of phone kiosks for, apparently Netflix is doing a new Magic School Bus TV show, and, you know, I noticed those. I saw there were 2 of them on my way over, and am I going to be talking about that with friends? Yes, I am. Am I going to be looking for that when it comes out? Yes, I am. Phone kiosks are one of the things you can do that's not very expensive, that gets it out there, in addition to all the other stuff.
So do you have like a template or a model that you follow when you're publicizing books, or is it really specific to the person who wrote the book?
Books are like people. You know, even if you don't have a big personality author, you want to find out what the core of the book is and what's going to draw people to it. You know, I think of Amy Poehler. You know, what is it that made Yes Please a draw to people? What's her personality? Sharp, smart, multifaceted. This is Amy's brain on paper. Please enjoy responsibly, was the line that we used. With a little asterisk, because, of course, not everybody consumes things on paper anymore, so we also have it as an ebook and as an audio book. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really fascinating to look at different marketing campaigns and see people trying really out-of-the-box things as well. And you think, oh, is that like a reflection on the personality that's behind the book? I think it can be a real draw to different products.
Sure, sure. And, of course, there are a lot of books that are by authors who are not yet known. I just read an ARC for a fantastic noir thriller called The Woman in the... Advanced Reader Copy.
Oh, yeah, we don't know what that is outside.
Book talk. Yeah, A.J. Finn is the author, and it's a fantastic noir thriller, and I'm looking forward to figuring out ways of getting
Noir,
that out.
black thriller?
Yeah, noir, you know, like noir
Dark,
film, like
dark.
Hitchcock kind of.
Yeah, dark.
Orson
yeah.
Welles style. And it was a real pleasure for me to read in advance of its being released. And I'm looking forward to figuring out how we're going to be able to get it out there in front of the people who are going to love it and maybe surprise some people with it too.
Can you give me some free advice? So I have a children's book. It's about Bitcoin. Surprise, surprise. Billy's Bitcoin. So, like, should I target the children's market? Because they're like, what the hell is Bitcoin? Or do I target the adult, like, children's books?
What age children?
guess I should have thought about that before. I
It's
mean,
okay. You can
it's a
rewrite. You
picture
can
book.
rewrite.
It's a picture book. It's a rhyming picture book. So it's just like a
Well,
good fun.
most
thing.
consumers of picture books are children who are not yet buying their own book. So I'd say aim for the parents.
Yeah. I
All
would agree
right,
with
parents who like Bitcoin, this is the book for you. And of course, you'll be giving me in-depth marketing strategies.
I'll give you my card.
Fantastic, fantastic. This is going to be great.
This happens on Bold Business all the time. Sarah's pitched her company to an entrepreneur. Everyone's like, hey, while I'm at it, tell me about your expertise.
In fact,
you know.
we can do a live book reading right here. I happen to bring a no, I
This
didn't.
is being recorded, and I will be referring back to this when I sell my book.
Right.
No, I think it's so fun to think, we all hear about books, but everyone's like, if you ask someone, how did you hear about this book? A lot of times they don't know. They're like, oh, I don't know. My friend told me about it, or like they have some kind of vague answer, like they may have seen it somewhere on a billboard or something. But I feel like, Christian's the man behind all that.
They just seem to appear in front of you and you don't really know how
Yeah.
it got into your attention, but it's like, I suddenly feel like I really want to read this.
Yeah, well, you need a source that
Why?
you trust. Word of mouth is the big one. If you can get word of mouth to spread, people will buy the book because you trust what your friends think you'll like. And there are ways of replicating that process. People will subscribe to a newsletter and we'll put a native placement in that newsletter, and those get some of the highest click-through rates among all the ads that we do.
So to work with you, do people need to have a certain social standing or be a published author, or like what's the level, the entry level for reset clients?
We've worked with authors who are not represented. We've worked with, big names, small names, and everything in between.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm one of those people that if I'm at a hot pool, I see what everyone's reading.
Right.
And funny enough, there's a lot of agreement at times. So,
What do you mean by
like,
a hot pool,
like at the W in South Beach when I was there this summer, it was fantastic, and
Full of
everyone
hot
was
people.
reading.
Okay, got it.
No, everyone was reading The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
oh yeah.
Which is a big book right now.
Yeah, I remember reading it.
yeah. So, and like 3 people were reading that, and I'm like, what am I missing?
Not much.
It's subtle.
Yeah.
Subtle.
No, it's not subtle, and the book is, I'm sorry, but very, very shallow. And
Oh my goodness!
Everything there is a season.
I will cross that off my list because I get most of my
Mine.
reading recommendations from Miss Hill over here. Anyway, Christian and Sarah, always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Great.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Adam Thomas, a writer and serial entrepreneur. His daily grind and the lessons he's learned building businesses are reflected in his Life as Usual blog, where he writes daily.
Adam is here to talk about his entrepreneurial journey. Welcome to Bold Business, and tell us about your blog.
So the blog is as you said, David, a daily grind of things.